No. At the very bottom.
Oh, Antarctica.
Antarctica. Very good. Now, Antarctica has many different kinds of animals.
One of them is penguins.
Yes. That is the main animal in Antarctica. But people don't live in Antarctica, do they? No, because it's way too cold there,
People
isn't it?
research there, though.
They do. They visit sometimes, but they don't live there because it's way too cold.
It's too cold.
But penguins
I make care to live there.
are the main animal.
There's all kinds of penguins. There's a macaroni penguin, a toad penguin, a rock penguin.
Now, while we're waiting for this, now listen, there are 17 different kinds of penguins in the whole world. But only 7 of them live in Antarctica.
What?
And these are some of them. They're coming up.
Chin-strap penguin.
Now, some of these, maybe you've seen, some of them kind of look familiar. There's an Adelaide penguin. There's a chin-strap penguin. They kind of have that black stripe.
Yeah.
Theo, or there's a rock hopper penguin. And these kind of look the same, don't they?
Yeah.
Except for the eyes. Very good. Very good, Tammy. Great observation.
That one and that one. In the beak. Was like one that was like condor design.
And we have a king penguin. We have a Gentoo penguin. And the emperor penguin.
That's the biggest penguin.
That is the biggest penguin. You want to know how big it is?
It's about as big as a 6-year-old child.
Danny, I want you to stand up real quick. An emperor penguin is as big as you. They can grow to 4 feet tall.
You know that, RJ? Because they're about
They're big penguins. So we have all of these penguins, but we're going to be talking about this penguin, the emperor penguin. Okay, who has seen the movie Happy Feet?
I have it at my house.
Does that look familiar to you? That is.
Are you watching?
I know. I love Happy Feet too. These are the kind of penguins we're going to be talking about today. There's a bunch of different kinds of penguins, but the emperor penguin is what we're going to be talking about today. Okay? Yes, Noah.
Are we going to watch it?
No.
I know the other one is to go and rest my head.
Okay.
I have it on Netflix.
So, today we're going to be talking about the emperor penguin. We're going to be talking about the emperor penguin and how it goes through life. How it starts from an egg to a baby to when it's growing up to become an adult emperor penguin, and how it can survive the climate, how it can survive the cold, freezing weather. Because it's a pretty amazing bird to be able to survive in a really, really cold climate.
Most birds have to fly to south to go to the winter. But
So, I'm going to be talking about different stages of their life. What I'm going to have you do after I explain each one, I'm going to give you one of these. Now,
that is the easiest thing to
something that it does, I want you to be very careful with this, okay? This is what it can do. It can open its wings. And you see each one? I'm going to show it to you.
It has the cycle of the penguins.
The cycle of the penguins. Very good, Kennedy. You are going to be gluing each one as we talk about it, okay? So we're not going to glue all of them at the same time. So once I'm done talking about the egg, we're going to glue on the egg. So, and we're going to go back and forth. So I want you to be very careful and listen to directions, okay? Okay. Now, this is an egg of an emperor penguin. Does it kind of look like chicken eggs that we're usually seeing? No, it doesn't. How is it different?
Because it's bigger.
It's bigger, yes.
It's got the same shape.
There is. It's got this like a shape. Yeah, it's a different shape, kind of like a cone shape, isn't it? Yes, Dimitri.
It's bumpy.
It is a little bit bumpy. I can kind of see that. Very good observation.
Chicken eggs are not bumpy. They're soft.
So sometimes temperatures, because sometimes cold here, it's like 20 degrees or 30 degrees. It can get to minus 140 degrees.
That's cold.
That is cold, isn't it? And the moms and dads have to keep that safe. Keep that egg safe and warm. Exactly. We're going to be talking about that very soon. So what I'm going to have you do, I'm going to see who's ready. You guys are each going to come up, grab one of these, and you're going to grab one of these. And go to your desk and get out glue and scissors. You're not going to do anything until I tell you, okay? Make sure we're following directions because I want you guys to have some amazing looking penguins, okay? So, first row, RJ, Mimi, Sean, Gage, Theo, come and grab a penguin. One of these. Very good. Second row. Did you grab another?
There was a spill.
Wait, we do. Stella.
So there was
Another
a
piece.
spill and it got wet, so I threw it in. And then we had a
When you're on ball, you go straight forward to the direction. Okay, hold up your penguin and hold up the piece of paper so I can see that you have it. Let's see that everybody has it. You don't have. Awesome. Now, I want you to open the wings very carefully.
I've already opened yours.
Wait, did you write a name on it?
Yes, on the back.
Just leave it alone, it's not me.
Hands on top. Hands on top.
Everybody stop.
There you go. I want you with a white crayon to write your name. This is black paper, so if we write it in pencil, it's going to be really hard to see. So I want you with a white crayon to write your name on the back of your penguin, so you know whose it is. Go ahead and do it. On the back. Yes. Write it on the back.
Sorry, pull it up. Crayon is your name on the back of it.
5, 4, on crayon 3, 2, and 1. There we go. Okay, I want you to look at this piece of paper. See this piece of paper? I want you to point at where it says penguin egg. Point at it with your finger. Check your neighbors, see that they're pointing at the same thing that you are. Point at penguin egg. You can see that everybody's pointing at it. Now, what I want you to do, I want you to cut out just the picture, glue it on, I'm going to show you what I did. You see where I put it? Right here? That's where I want you to put it, on the very top. You cut it out, glue it. Once you've done that, come back to the rug.
Dimitri, are you sure you're on the one that says egg?
Yep. Just like that. You're gonna cut it across.
He wants it. Grab a tissue. No, it wasn't like that a minute ago. You ripped the skin off. Grab a tissue. Hold it on there for a second. I'll just see if I can find it. But you need to calm down and quit pulling on the skin.
Just the picture of the egg. You're cutting out just the picture of the egg, okay? Glue your egg on first. Thank you, Kennedy, for going so fast. Very good. You were following directions. Okay, right your turn. When you're done, in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, one shot, Gina.
Yeah, I would definitely say it is. Okay, I'm just gonna let it go. Yep, put it right there. You get it on you? It just says that's what it is. The penguin egg. You cut it out, you're done.
Danny, hurry up, please. Savannah, let's come to the rug, okay? Are we done, Stella? Now, the next one is something called incubation. It's a big, big word. But what it means is that a penguin has a little pouch right here. You can kind of see it. And you see where the egg is right here?
It's on its feet.
It's on its feet. Very good. It's balancing on its feet. But the mom and the dad, they need to keep that egg warm, don't they? The only thing they have is that little pouch to keep the egg in.
And keep it off the ice.
Very good. And they have to keep it off the ice with their feet to make sure that it doesn't freeze. So, where does it keep the egg again?
In a pouch.
In a pouch. It's called a brood pouch. So say it with me, brood pouch.
Brood pouch.
Brood pouch, very good. And it has to keep it on there, it has to keep it on its feet from getting on the ice. So it doesn't freeze. Very good. And it's usually that the male or the dad keeps the egg warm.
And the mom goes looking for food.
They do. Very good, Kennedy. The mom goes and looks for food. And the dad has to keep the egg warm for 9 weeks. So that's almost 3 months. And to keep it in that pouch, to keep it warm and safe. So does the mom or the dad have to keep it? Does the mom or the dad have to keep it warm and safe? Dad, yes, because the mom goes hunting for food, doesn't he? Okay, so now what I want you to do to go back to your desk and wait for my instructions. Go back to your desk and wait for my instructions, please. Cord and Race can go ahead and get that egg glued on, okay?
I already did. Oh, I forgot.
Okay, before you cut out, okay, I want you to point at where it says incubation.
That's where you're at right now. Leave it alone, Mama.
It's right next to the one we just cut out. It has that I-N at the beginning of that word.
Skip all over, we're at. We're right here.
Gage. Wait for my instructions to cut it. Wait for my instructions. Point at where it says incubation has that I-N. You're going to cut out that picture of that daddy penguin trying to keep the egg warm. You're going to cut out that picture, glue it here on your life cycle. Once you've done that, come back to the rug.
They don't need that, just
No, but you're going to need to know where to do that.
Okay, some of you will have wings that are in the way. Just try to lift up that wing and glue it as best that you can. If it gets bent, that's totally fine. Just do the best that you're able to.
Have a seat on the carpet.
to wipe up.
No, please put the scissors back to that.
It's here. So I got glue on it too. How do you spell my name? How do you spell my name? I know. J-O-N. No, J-O-E-L. I don't know.
All right. Military, Stella, Tatum, and Dimitri.
No, I'm just wiping the wall.
Okay.
Very good. Okay, Noah, go have a seat on the carpet. Like everybody else.
Okay. Who can tell me what this word is? Hatching. And we all know what happens when something hatches, doesn't it? We see it like it gets out. Very good. And you can see right around here, you can see where the baby is hatching, can't you? And right here, you see a little hole. Because the baby has to use its beak to peck at the egg to try to get it to break. Okay, record. Rayston. So the baby has to peck at the egg constantly to try to get out of the egg, to get out of that shell.
Why doesn't the mama help it?
It has to do it by itself sometimes.
I don't know.
By what?
I get why the baby has to do it. It's because the mom is so tall. The mom is actually not
Because
so yet. If the mom gets out after the baby, that will be it.
even while it's hatching, while this egg is hatching, the daddy's still trying to keep it warm and still trying to keep it safe. Because even though it's hatching, that baby's still going to be pretty cold from being outside of its egg. So it has to keep it warm while the baby is hatching out.
Okay, I have a question. Why are baby penguins cold but big penguins are not? Because they're probably used to it.
Well, they have very special feathers, but we're going to get to that very soon.
Babies don't know.
We're going to talk about all those feathers that keep them warm, okay? So, what I want you to do, go back to your desk and wait for my instructions. Don't cut yet. Now I want you to point at where it says egg hatching.
Where's egg hatching?
Egg hatches.
So this is your stop. Where's egg hatching?
Point at where it says egg hatching.
Don't cut. Listen.
What we're gonna do, you're gonna cut out that picture of a little baby penguin hatching out of that cute little egg.
Over here.
And you're going to glue it here. So if you can't remember where to glue it, look up here. There's a picture that's all ready for you. Go ahead and do that.
Okay, go ahead and cut that egg hatching. Hey, Joss, go ahead and cut the picture out.
still babies. They still need to keep warm because they still need to have, when they grow up, they'll be able to keep warm like their mommies and daddies. But they have this very furry feathers, don't they? They're just still little babies. They're still pretty furry. So to keep warm, what is the baby doing?
Getting under the mom or dad.
Getting under the pouch, that brood pouch where they were in the egg.
Yep.
That's also how they keep warm even when they're tiny little babies.
Each year the penguins take turns. The male goes first and the female.
Because you remember that the daddy was taking care of that egg, was keeping it warm.
Right, the mom was
So-
getting food.
Yes, and so once the baby is born, the mom comes back with food for everybody. So and yes, they take turns.
They rotate.
Yes, they rotate and they take turns keeping the baby warm. Very good. So we all
They have
know
to travel a long way.
they do. The mommy has to travel a long way to get food.
And their daddy. That's why it takes 1 year, and then they swap.
Not quite a whole year. Probably like
3
a month
months.
or two. Yeah,
3.5 months.
So I'm gonna have you guys stand up, go back to your desks,
Excuse me,
and point at where it says chick.
Okay, it's right by the other one.
So you have to put it right up for
This one.
I want you to point at where it says chick. And you're gonna cut out that picture and glue it. And you're going to paste it here. If you don't know where to paste it, you know now. Look at the picture if you're not sure. Okay, can you two handle it? So cut out that chick. If you're not sure where to put that chick, it's on the board to remind you. Every single time you come to the rug, you're always so quiet. And you always make sure to have a good example. I'm always so happy when you come to the rug. You always are following my directions. Thank you so much. Run it out. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay. Now, we are going to be talking about feeding the chick. So, okay. Pretty sure these are the moms because they were out for all of that time hunting for food, weren't they? Yeah. And coming back and coming home to a baby, the baby needs to eat, doesn't he? He or she needs to eat. So then the mom needs to feed it, right? Yeah. The way that adult penguins feed their babies is something called regurgitation. Basically, the mom will eat the food. It will be somewhat digested. Then they will cough up the food and feed it to the baby. It's a little weird, I will say, but that's how they need to feed the baby. Kind of like if you have a baby. Yeah, they don't have blenders. No, they don't. And they don't have baby food. Like whenever you guys have a baby brother or sister and they need to eat baby food that's soft. Well, if there's a baby, whether it's your baby brother or sister or Franklin, this is your last warning. The baby needs soft food and it can't chew. It doesn't have teeth yet. It doesn't have sharp teeth yet. So the mom needs to feed it.
Wait, penguins have teeth?
They do.
And so they can chew their food.
So, it's called regurgitation. That's a big word. So, what I want you to do, go back to your desks, and point at where it says feeding the chick.
Now you're on this page.
Oh.
Be careful, Noah. Don't you get hurt. So point at where the mom is feeding the chick. I want you to cut it out, just a picture, and glue it on.
The word of the picture? No, just the picture.
Just
Just the picture, Noah. You see where I glued it, Noah?
Yeah.
Noah, look up here. You see where I glued it? It's just the picture. Very good. Oh, I'm so happy to see you guys coming to the rug so quietly. Yes. Why don't you tell it to me at recess? Go ahead and glue it on and come back to the rug.
Okay, good. Perfect.
Okay, get it glued on in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's hurry, Stella and Savannah. Okay. Yes.
Tomorrow, is the girls going to have name tags? Like tomorrow?
We'll talk about that. So, what this is called fledgling. That's what these are called. They're more like
Like a kid.
kind of in between a baby and an adult.
Wait, a baby doll.
Kind of like a teenager penguin. So you see where they're fluffy in some places and have smooth feathers on another side? They're shedding all of those fluffy feathers. And they're making way for those smooth feathers that help keep in air, and help keep in their warmth. Oops. Sorry, sweetheart. And so when those fluffy feathers fall off, Tatum, I hope we're all listening today. So, once they shed all of those feathers, they have really smooth feathers that will come up. But they have to shed all of that all those furry feathers that they had when they were a baby. Because these smooth feathers help keep in the warmth. They have a layer of fat or a layer of blubber underneath to keep them warm. They have to shed all of those fluffy feathers off. And so they kind of look a little strange until they shed all of those feathers. Because you see how they look? Kind of looks like he has like a scarf on. A little bit. Yeah, kind of like a little mohawk. He's trying to get all of those feathers off. And they kind of look a little silly at first. Okay, we know the drill. Stand up. Go to your desks. And where it says fledgling, it starts with that FL. It starts with that FL at the beginning of the word. Let it cut it out.
Next time you need to walk.
Cut out the picture, then come back to the rug. And if we don't remember, this is where I want it here. This is where I want the fledgling.
And then there's the dog.
Okay, ready? Sean. I'm so glad you guys came to the rug so quietly and ready to learn. I'm very happy to see that. Okay, this is our last one.
Yay.
What do you think the final step is?
Adult penguin.
An adult penguin. It's finally all grown up, isn't it? It's all grown up.
Have a seat on carpet.
Now he can fly. No.
Now you kind of see.
No. I have a question. Penguins can fly. What's the group of penguins that can fly? Penguins can. Yeah. Oh, you have to do.
I'm sorry?
No, a Tita's hunter. Put it on the other side.
Okay.
Go.
Grayson, please go sit at your desk. Thank you. Now, with adult penguins, they kind of look like the penguins that we have seen in different videos and movies. But you can always tell an emperor penguin because they have that yellow on the side of their neck right there.
Well,
Right?
that penguin has a long neck.
They do. They do kind of have a long neck when they stretch it out. But it's a little bit yellow, a little bit orange right here on their chest. But it's, of course, black on the back, white on their tummy. So when they are fully grown, they can go hunt food on their own. They don't need mom or dad to go hunt for them. They can go with a whole group of penguins, and they can go and hunt all by themselves. And like I said, when they get older, they're almost as tall as each and every one of you, 4 feet tall.
Wow. I got 4 feet tall.
Almost as tall as you all. Some of them can grow up to 4 feet tall. And that's a pretty big bird, isn't it?
I thought it would go to 10 feet. Penguins are the biggest birds.
They are the biggest penguins.
The biggest birds.
Very good. So, like for the last time, let's all stand up, go to your desk.
Walk along the middle, walk.
And cut out the adult penguin picture and glue it on to our last circle. Okay, once you finish with your penguin, go ahead and bring your penguin up to the rug. But I hope that you guys will have self-control. Like we've talked about with Mr. Lemunion. We have self-control with our penguins because I don't want to, I hope we don't see penguins hitting each other or hitting our friends. That would make me very sad. We're not showing self-control with our penguins. You can fly in the water. So something. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Grayson, are you ready to join us? Are we going to make big choices? Okay. I need eyes and ears. I need eyes and ears. So. Now, so penguins are birds, right? But can they fly?
No.
They can fly, but what are these called? A lot of you already know what these are called. Flippers.
Oh.
They're called flippers. Very good. They kind of come to their sides, and they can't fly with those, can they? But what can they do? They swim very well in the water. Very fast. So, what I want you to do, open up very carefully your penguin. So, what's our first stage? Egg. Very good. Very good. And what about the next one where it looks like the egg is inside of the pouch? No, it's a big word. It starts with in. Very good.
I said that too.
Yes, very good, Dimitri. Incubation, that's a big word. And then the next one, hatching out of that egg. Very good. Now it's our fourth one. I want everybody to tell me, what is a baby penguin called?
Chick.
Very good. And then
Feeding.
feeding the chick is the next one. Feeding the chick, and what they call it is regurgitation. That's a big word. You don't need to memorize that word. It's a big one. Okay. The next one is fledgling. Very good. Very good. And then the final one, adult penguin. Very, very good. You guys did so great today. I am an adult, but I'm not an adult penguin.
You're bad as tall. The people that are bad as tall as you.
They're about this tall.
Yeah, they're about big as
Yeah. So, okay, I need eyes and ears. Now, what I found out that on Go Noodle, there is a penguin dance.
What is penguin dance?
We can do the penguin dance, and if we can handle it, I will let you use your penguins to dance with, if you would like to. But I need eyes and ears. I want to be sure that you guys can handle it. Okay? Because I want you guys to keep your penguins safe. So we can always do this or this, but I want you to be careful with your penguin. If you don't want, I'll wait. If you don't want to damage your penguin, if you don't want to hurt it, if you don't want to dance with it, that's fine. Just put it on your desk and leave it alone. If you do want to, be very careful with it, okay? I'm going to have you go stand by your desk. Oh.
You have about a minute, so you're going to